Namaste Starlights. It's been a little bit, so I wanted to just check in with you guys, see how you guys are doing. And I wanted to talk about a theme that has been occurring in my life, and I'm sure that everyone can relate to at some point in their life, and that is doing things scared. Doing things scared is such a tough thing to wrap my head around. I recently just launched my therapy private practice at the beginning of May. That it took some time. I started in January. I got a business coach. She helped me walk through things, which was super helpful. Always, if you can, invest in yourself in those things. So I don't regret it. But I ran into some hiccups, and I don't know if you can agree with this, but I'm one of those people that if something doesn't go right in my plan, I question really hard. I'm like, is this God saying, now it's not the time, or you're not ready yet? Or is this just like me needing to practice resilience and just push through it? I don't know. Sometimes I take it as a sign. Sometimes I push through it. I really have to sit and listen to what I think the message is. I think for this, I needed to just do it scared. I think I put off a lot of things in my life because I'm fearful. I have a scarcity complex, right? And I get comfortable. And I'm sure everyone, you can relate to that feeling. But do it scared. Right now, the fear is there. I don't have any clients yet with my private practice. I've put a couple of $1,000s into starting my private practice. So definitely that fear is there, but also faith, right? I think I've come to a place in my life where I've just learned to practice acceptance more. So if you're familiar with the concept of radical acceptance, essentially it is the concept of things are going to happen in life because that's just life, right? Things that we don't like, things that we don't agree with, things that make us frustrated or upset. And that is resistance. And that's what causes suffering. So what helps is to accept the things that are happening to us. This is not the same as approving of it or saying it's okay or even liking it, right? There is a distinct difference. You don't have to like what happened or what's happening. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to approve it, but you have to accept that it's happening, if that makes sense. You can't change the past, and you can change your reality to a certain extent, but it's examining the things that are in your control versus outside your control. And the rest of it is just acceptance. And radical acceptance is one of the hardest concepts to master. I struggle with it. I think it's just human that we resist things that don't feel comfortable. We want to feel comfortable. I think that's the human experience. So I've been trying to practice a lot of radical acceptance with this journey of starting my private practice, trying to market myself. I know nothing about marketing. It's definitely a learning curve. And really trying to sell myself in an authentic way because obviously, I do want my practice to thrive and I want to help people. I also have to sell myself. And it's once again leading into faith and acceptance. But I don't know, if you know me, you know that I'm someone who I do take risks. I evaluate the risk versus gain. I'm not spontaneous, I would say. I don't jump into things. I'm a researcher, I'm a planner, but I do take risks. I've made moves by myself across the country. I've traveled so much by myself. I love EDM festivals, okay? I'm an electronic dance music woman. And I went to my very first festival on my own. For those who are familiar, it's Electronic Daisy Carnival, or EDC, in Las Vegas. Biggest festival in the US, I went alone. And I just remember, you know, like having nervousness and apprehension, but doing it anyway. Just, I've learned to not wait to do things, or I'm trying to. I'm still in the process, I think, of trying to do it. I do put off certain things because of whether it's a lack of self-trust or I overthink things. I'm an overthinker. I overthink a lot, but I'm really just leading into faith. And what's meant to be for me is meant to be for me. And obviously putting in the work, but also just surrendering. And I think that's a large part of life that's really hard to do, is just surrender. And just what will happen, will happen. What will be, will be. I think in my life experience, I've learned to just be more and more at peace with just the ins and outs of life. And nothing's ever going to be perfect. So do it scared. Do it scared, and you may be amazed where you end up at. I mean, at this point, I never thought I would even be here. I never thought I'd be sitting here talking to you. You know, and I have so much to be grateful for that I don't want life to just pass me by. So I'm making this video kind of just as almost like a starting point. Like, I'm here, I have 0 clients, I'm kind of freaking out inside, but what's meant to be is meant to be. And, you know, I am going to check back in later with you guys, and I'm going to be on the path I need to be. And I hope it's whatever path that God has intended for me. But if you have fear, if you have apprehension, you know, pray and meditate on it and think about it. But if you still feel scared and you've weighed the pros and cons, and it's kind of leading in the pros, do it scared. Don't let fear stop you from living your best life or living your dreams, because I never want to. One of my worst fears is when it comes time for me to leave this earth, saying, dang, like I didn't do everything that I needed to do because I was scared. Because of financial fears, fears of not making it, fears of being laughed at or doubted. I never want to have that resolution in my life. So Starlight, I see you, and I'm with you in doing like life kind of by the seat of your pants. Do it scared and lead into faith, and that's it. So may you be happy, may you be free, and may you be well. And I will see you in the next video, Starlight.